Welcome everybody, my name is MrLlama and today I am bringing you a PvZ. This is going to be between Pal, the yellow Protoss, spawning down in the bottom right corner and spawning up in the top left. We do have This Game Suck. However, as you all know, it is 10 o'clock on a Thursday, 10 o'clock Central that is, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern, wherever you are and enjoying your various time zones. And so this is going to be, boom, right there. This is going to be Masters Thursday, where we go ahead and follow around a Masters player and just give some replay analysis. So this is Making Improvements Stick. That's the name of the series. And it goes bronze, silver on Sunday. On Monday we do gold. On Tuesday platinum. Wednesday diamond. And Thursday, of course, is Masters. So this is going to be the highest level, and I'm going to be the most critical on the smallest things in this matchup, because those things are really the things that make the games count more, right? So if you are in Bronze League and you have awesome macro and you get supply blocked at it's like 10:30 and you're Zerg and you get supply blocked at like 126 or something when the Protoss is pushing over, you're still going to have an amazingly large army and win the game. But if all of a sudden you get that supply blocked in Masters League at that point, well, now you're not going to be in such a good position, because his army is going to be a lot stronger, right? Because both players' macro increases as they grow throughout the leagues. So this is simply going to be following Pal, and I like that he's scouting over here, checks to make sure the 15 pool goes down. Always good. Going to double check maybe for a gas right here, or to see if a drone's popping out. No, it's not, so he's just going to come down here and go for the block. In the meantime, getting out that Nexus first. Easy does it right there. And this, of course, is just to try and block the drone, and will the drone get the hatch down? Looks like he's going to be very annoying, and throws the pylon down as well. So always good to do, as this just delays your opponent's natch right here, and he has to wait if you don't cancel it. But it looks like we are going to see Pal cancel it, because Pal wants to get his forge up, he wants to get his gate up, and just kind of get a wall in general. And a big thing, of course, is Pal went Nexus first, so Pal knows that he has his Nexus down before his opponent has expanded, right? So this means that he's going to be ahead in the expansion wars. As you can see, his opponent's only at 30 out of 100 while he is at 60. So he's got a full 30 seconds right there on his opponent in that expansion, which of course is always good for Pal. So Pal going to now throw down a cannon, I would imagine, here fairly soon. He's also going to have this pylon building. And I mean, everything so far I can't be critical of, right? Everything so far looks pretty good. Getting his gases at a good time right there after getting up this little wall right here, getting that cannon down. So everything so far has been decent. I don't like that this probe's hurt right here. I feel like I'd rather trade out a not hurt probe at this point. And specifically for, oh, they can simply walk by or just kill it. So right there, okay, so that's going to be a little annoying that he's going to get that in. Gets the Cybernetics core up after that gateway. So good on that. And probes continue to make. You do have a probe up here. I like that. Very sneaky. Good to do, of course. And so chrono boosting out our probes, making sure we have decent probes. Yes, we do. Okay, so nothing too bad right there so far. And everything's still really good. Warp gate, warp gate, warp gate. Where is she? +1 possibly in the future here. Having to deal with all of this, not fun, right? We all know that. So I don't know. I mean, that's tough. That's simply because you went Nexus first, and so I would say have that probe right there to throw a pylon down instead. And ooh, still do not have warp gate going. I know you're over here doing these cannons. I see that on my minimap, so I like that. And you know, it's kind of late. He's gonna see it. If he had some lings out, I think he might be okay. Drones attack. No, he won't. So he's not going to deal with that. Okay. But what are we doing back home? You've got this one sentry out, not really going after these lings. I'd suggest he goes up there. There you go. And just now starting warp gate. 6:30. You got this Cybernetics core done at 5:20. So that's already over a minute's worth of time. Plus you wasted a chrono boost on that. Also right here, we could be getting an upgrade, right? We could be getting a +1 to go for some sort of hit, something like that. So I think that's going to be one of the goals, definitely right there. I know your attention is kind of focused, and there we go. Now we start that +1. I know your attention is kind of focused over here, though. You know, you're like microing that unit and stuff around, and you're gonna kill off the search, right? So that's huge. You know, great job right there, and of course that is going to be worth it, and that will definitely put you in an advantageous position. But I think something to note is you still were behind over here, so you want to get those timings down. Goal number 1 is going to be still getting those timings despite microing around. So if you want to practice this, something you can do is do the there's actually a map that requires you to where you're always moving your probe around, something like that. And doesn't let you shift your probe either. You can't shift Q actions. So literally you just have to like get your probe and just be like move, 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 just like move them in circles, or go like move them like around this right here and crisscross in and out, all that stuff. And that'll be really good, because if you do that, all of a sudden you can jump to that and then jump back and make sure you have all these little things going, right? So now you're just a little bit behind on all these upgrades. Warp gate could be done right now, but now it's kind of too late. You could have had, you know, a warp in right here to kind of go up there and do a little pressure or something. What does he have? He has a spine crawl and some slow lings. So I mean, he doesn't really have much. So you could have actually gone and like hit with something strong right there as well. But you know, warp gate wasn't finished for a while. Yada yada yada. So okay, going for the 4-gate robo. With the sentries, so basically doing a fake out of a pressure here, right? That's when I see this. That's what I think. It's a fake out of a Sentry Immortal all in. So you're not actually going to do it, and you just take a third behind it. That's generally what I see come out of that. So I like this. Going to be scouting around with this observer. See, he doesn't have many lings there at least. And nice little force fields, 1 extra, that's okay, because you get a bunch of nice free lings right there. So far, so good on all that. Starting Twilight Council, once again, a little late on the upgrade right there. So definitely something to work on. I mean, I know you're doing such a great job. You're doing a great job with your Chrono Boost, with your probe production, 56. I mean, you know, that's not bad at all, especially considering you went for this right here and had to cut probes for a tiny bit. So everything really, I can't complain too much about any of those things. But I would just say, if you're looking for something to improve on, it would be getting all these upgrades down at an efficient time. Because hey, you could already have that 1-1 done now, and maybe go out with a push if you wanted to, right? It would just be a little bit more crisp. And of course, you know, push up, back off, okay. It's fine. Some more warp-ins, yada yada yada. Getting the blink. Totally fine right there. Don't have many stalkers for the blink though, so it's kind of an interesting. I mean, I suppose if though you are going to push out and go for a little later, then having that blink will be useful. But yeah, so blink at the current moment. I mean, look at your army. It's not going to be a huge upgrade for you right now, but that's okay, because then you can also, of course, utilize this to get your +2 and stuff like that. So once again, not something crazy that I would harp on. Maybe get a few more stalkers in that army, but he also has a lot of links in his army. So we're gonna go ahead and see what you do here. There you go. Try and throw down the Nexus, but he blocks it. That's cool. And now pushing over, we'll see how your engagements are. All that energy, yum 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 yum, versus a lot of lings. And uh-oh, some infestors. So, all right. Okay, cool. So that is definitely an engagement to work on right there, pal. For sure. As you can see, first off, you force fielded as if his unit composition was roaches, right? So you force fielded way away from you, and I mean, you left some gaps, which definitely weren't helpful. You could have definitely needed, or you definitely did need to throw down another force field right there, as that could have stopped all those lings from streaming in. But generally against lings, you want those force fields kind of tighter in on you, and kind of ball. And I mean, I know he had infestors, so you didn't want to make a full surround on yourself, but get them, you know, maybe a little bit closer so all those lings kind of push up all in, and then you could still back away and spread a little bit if necessary, if he was going for some sort of fast, or if he was going for to try and like use fungal growth on you and stuff. So just kind of right there, I would say definitely something to work on, because that engagement was kind of brutal, right? You also had some zealots that were trapped in the back right here, and when he has all those lings, just put those zealots in the front. I mean, that's exactly where you wanted those zealots to be, was where those lings were streaming in, but instead they were back here doing absolutely nothing, and then once everything else died, then the zealots poked out to attack the roaches, alright, and so that didn't do much. So that could be another goal right there, kind of working on that micro. I like the idea here of the Warp Prism Harass. Always love Warp Prism Harass. But yeah, that could be a little bit, definitely something to think about, right? Getting that, and then you can kill off the infested tenants. I love it. So definitely something to think about. It's just kind of working on that engagement right there, practicing those force fields a little better. You kind of threw out a couple randomly there at first, and then when the lings did engage, you didn't quite get them, and you force fielded, as I was saying, more for those roaches. Where are your gateways? Holy cow, my friend, you are killing me. Do you literally only have 4 gates? Alright, so only 4 gates with 74 probes at 1530 is brutal, right? This is like, hey yo, this is definitely something that we can improve on, improve our game right now. So we're on a 4-gate robo, and I mean, yes, you're getting your Tech and Colossus out, but gateways, my friend. You've been floating like 700, 800 minerals for a long time right now, and now you're up to 1,000. I mean, it's just going to keep escalating, right? So that's definitely something that you want to have when you're up. When you're up here, when you take this expansion, you can go like pylon, 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 and then you can go gate, and drop like 4 gateways with the cannons back there. Get yourself a little more room back here. Get a wall right there if you want, and then you can have a lot more gateways as well. And there we go. Now we're just starting to throw them up, but I feel like this is so late right here, 1645, to now be adding on all these gateways. And putting up to 9 gate, and that's like what you wanted to have minutes and minutes ago right there when you were taking your third. You'll see whenever you see a lot of professional players take their thirds, they'll drop cannons and then they'll drop like gateway. Like, they use that for walling, they use it for whatever. Something you definitely want to think about right here. So that right there is going to be a huge goal that I'm going to give you. I love the upgrades, you've just been consistent with pumping those bad boys out. Love the Chrono Boost, love the tech and everything that you've been going right there. You've been good with your supply. I haven't seen very much supply block, if anything at all. Everything else really pretty crisp so far. Something I would definitely say right now, work towards that mothership more. Do we have a Stargate out? I'm going to look for it before I say anything. No. Okay, so if you're playing a better Zerg, I know you picked off that third, so that definitely helps. But if you're playing a better Zerg, and hey, even him, they're going to have Broodlords. Broodlords going to be coming out around that, like, 16-minute mark, something like that. 15, 16, 17. That's when there's really going to be some Broodlords and really going to be this army right here. And you want to be working towards getting the mothership out at that point. So you should be pretty good in this engagement. You also have Blink, that +3 versus 1-1. So that's definitely helpful, especially with these Colossus. And he doesn't really have enough Broodlords to deal with you right there. He's going to go for a little counter, okay. And see, there's the Stargate right now. This is definitely a late Stargate. If he had a lot more broods, and look at all that yummy money that he does have right there, and wow, it's a bigger investment, but if he had a lot more broods, which you could definitely have at this point, you would be in a worse off position for sure. So okay, you'll be fine dealing with that back home. Nothing to really worry about there. Pick off Broodlords, and I'm gonna guess that you win the game right on out from here. Kind of go into cruise mode. You got that 4th base going up. Once again, getting another base, pylon, gate right there. Avoid run-bys, and that was really convenient timing. Avoid run-bys as what we just right there saw. So now you lose all these probes, you lose some stock. I mean, it's just like, and I was going to run those over, okay? So, like, just getting those gateways, not only do you add more production facilities, which, hey, you can use, look at all that money that you have right there. If you had more production facilities, you could, of course, be using those a lot more. but you also provide yourself the protection which you need against a Zerg, especially a good Zerg. When you're playing High Master Zergs, they're going to do Ling run-bys like that, and they're going to kill off probes, and they're going to do that stuff. Mothership, still not out. Do we have a fleet beacon down yet? I'm going to stop using that, and kind of... I don't see a fleet beacon either. So it's just kind of a really, and I mean, I know you can be like, well, the game's kind of over here, and I mean, yeah, it kind of is, right? I mean, look at the supplies, things like that. So you may have just been slacking off a tiny bit right here, but things definitely to think about and think about working on. And there's the fleet beacon finally. So we're going to go over your goals again because I haven't hit them quite yet enough. Goal number 1, tighten up those timings, and those timings will be on everything. I want those timings to be simply on getting warp gate out, getting that +1 down, the timing of getting that fleet beacon, the timing of adding on additional gateways. Right? It's just all been late this game. So everything has been crisp. Not crisp in like time, but like everything's been good. Everything's been, you know, strong, and I mean it's good play, right? This is good, solid play. But it could just be picked up a notch. Everything could just be a few seconds, a few minutes earlier, and that would help improve your game so much. And when you get to that higher level, when you want to really improve right there, and I know you're a High Masters right now, I believe, but if you want to, of course, even more improve, that's something definitely that you could be doing right there. Goal number 2, work on that army micro a little more. With the sentries, with how you position your zealots. You want your zealots out there in front, not sitting behind. Where those force fields are positioned based on the army of your opponent, and maybe even a little scout on his army right there, because you kind of went in right behind the brush right here, and it was kind of a blind spot for sure. And goal number 3, we are going to make it... We're going to go ahead and say goal number 3 is going to be your ability to leave everything wide open. I mean, even these cannons right here, right? If I run in with Lings, my Lings suddenly get a surround on these cannons, this cannon, and you have nothing, right? It's all dead. But if you push these cannons, all these cannons up against the Nexus, and like block them in, so you go like cannon, pylon, gateway, or something like that. If you want to do it right here, then it's really hard and Lings won't be able to deal with that. Or you can go gates like this across and cannons behind, or you can go gateway here with a cannon right here and a cannon right there, and all of a sudden you're killing off the most important thing that a Zerg player has, and that is the ability I love all the chance uses. That is the ability to run by and catch your opponent, especially a Protoss opponent who needs this army balled up like this, out of position. So if you can start doing those things, those three goals, once again, I want you to give me goal number 1. Yes, goal number 1, tighten up those timings. Goal number 2, and also timing of that mothership. I mean, 25 minutes is coming out. We want it way earlier than that. Goal number 2 is going to be that army right there. And then goal number 3, which we just went over, is going to be getting better sim cities out with your expansions. And this will also help you with that goal of getting more gateways down for sure. Because you just simply, you just didn't throw those down in time and stuff. And that just kind of went back with the timing of everything being a little late. So GG right there, I love the harass with the Warp Prism. I love the cannons. I love the Warp Prism up there. It was a really solidly played game. So I'll commend you on that, great play. But there's still, of course, as I said before, just because you win a game, it doesn't mean you played perfectly. There's still always things to improve, and that is going to be, those 3 goals that I gave you are going to be what you can improve upon. So that's going to be it for part 1, guys. I'm going to go ahead and, as I am starting to do now, because somebody did recommend it, to be splitting these up into various parts. I've already done that for the past few episodes. I don't know why I'm saying I'm going to be. So I'm just splitting them up into various parts, and I will be right back. And you can, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, go to video part 2.